some people can't see their future because it doesn't look like their past. This is a story of a woman who had a vision before an applause. She didn't wait for the belief of folks around her. She built it into reality before she got her applause. And I'm super excited to be with Morgan today.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Yeah, so tell us about the build up to your audacious moment.
Wow. So at the age of 21, I said a prayer. So it was between me and God. And I was like, you know what, God? I was laying out my life. I said, this is the way I want it to be. I want to travel the world. I want to make impact. I want to do all of these things. I was in recruiting for a number of years and working in corporate America. And I was like, but this is the life I want to see for myself. Did a lot of things, worked in corporate spaces, grew in my leadership and all of those things. But at the age of 28, transitioned into executive search. It was a wonderful transition, got to work with all kinds of different clients. I was in a wonderful space to grow. I knew from that moment that I wanted to, at one time, start my own firm. So I thought, hey, I'm going to be 40, 50, 60 years old because, within the executive search industry, that's kind of the lay of the land. Mm-hmm. A lot of the partners are much older, and rightfully so. But I knew in the work that I was doing, I was hitting the ground running. I was bringing in new clients. I was like really expanding the business that I had responsibility for. And I was like, I could do this with myself one day. But as a Black woman in corporate America, things happen. And, obviously I won't give any specifics to that, but, many of us share that same experience of people telling us, oh, you can't do this, or, oh, maybe you should sit down in your seat. People get promoted above you to put you in your seat and all the things that happen. And, one day I looked up and I was like, I'm doing all of these things. I'm achieving the things I should be achieving to set the stage for my own firm. So I was like, you know what? Why not? So I had a friend of mine that I'd worked with in the past, and he reached out to me and he was like, where are you? What are you doing right now? And I was like, oh, well, I'm working in this firm, finding my feet. And he was just like, well, you did say that you wanted to start your own firm one day. And I was like, I did. I said, but years from now. And he was like, well, why? Why wait? Mm. And it really spoke to like everything inside of me. I was like, you know what? Why not? I got this. I can do this. And I started with him as my first client. And ever since then, 2020, I've had it.
Sometimes folks can see our potential before we can even see our own potential.
Oh, yeah.
And so he saw that in you that gave you the momentum and the runway. I always tell people, if you go get in an environment where you can flex your muscle of confidence, it's going to build more confidence.
100%.
And I believe that for you, you needed him to be your first client because he gave you the confidence to go get your second client and your third client and so on.
Yeah.
What was the hard moments in it? After you decided to say, okay, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to do this. This was my audacious moment. I'm going to start my own thing. I'm going to be bold and I'm going to be courageous. What were the moments inside that felt thick and heavy and felt like, man, how do I continue on from here?
Yeah, the world felt really big. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was raised in an environment where I was told that I could do anything. I had, a great grandmother on my mom's side. I mean, back in the day, who had businesses, and she, owned properties, and she had all of these things. She was just this big presence, even in that age. And my mom always tells me like that she kind of reincarnated in me, and I'm like here in this space and all of those things. So I always knew that I could do the things. But, when you step out into this unknown world, and I had never been off by myself, having to provide for myself financially. I had other people that were working with me, like, so having to pay people to do things, like, so having responsibility over people's livelihood was hard. So being in those spaces and that level of responsibility was scary. But then the world being so big, like, okay, like, I know where to start. I have a niche, but I have so many other things that I want to do, so many other people I want to serve. And I was like, it's just hard to kind of dial in the focus at that point too. So just trying to find my way and stumble. I mean, I think that's just the early parts of entrepreneurship I experienced, but self-doubt came in every once in a while. But again, I grew up in a way that I always knew that I could do really anything I wanted to do.
What would you say to that 21-year-old self who said, man, I want this for my life, I want that for my life, what would you say to her today?
Girl, first of all, you're amazing. You don't know the strength that you have. I think you have an idea, but you don't really know. You don't really know how much it will serve you as you continue to grow. The grittiness, the determination that was instilled with you, inside of you, I mean, it takes you so many places you never thought that you'd ever go. Continue to dream, and you just, yeah. I don't even know. I'm about to start crying. I can't. We might have to cut this out and then do it again, but like I'm literally about to get it.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I got my makeup done.
You know, you're okay. It is when you look back and you think, man, you're gritty, you're strong, you're so much more capable than you are even aware of right now, right? What happened along that pathway that made you doubt that you could fight the hardest fights, that the closed doors were going to be so heavy, that the journey wasn't going to necessarily be easy, but the pathway was going to be worth it?
I would say, and again, I go back to the fact that I think I was well equipped. Mm-hmm. But I would say self-doubt is, it is what it is. And then being a Black woman and not seeing myself in ownership in the space that I'm in. So executive search, there are a few, and I love my people. We really have a community together, but someone who's young, a woman and Black doing this, you have a sense of pride, but it's also a sense of, okay, like somewhat of imposter syndrome. Like, am I really supposed to be here right now? Maybe I should have waited till I was 50. Maybe I should have waited till I was 60 until I had, quote unquote, the breadth of, experience. But, I had a lot. I accomplished a lot and saw a lot. I was able to serve a lot, in my, my short time in my career at that point in time, and had won a lot, had a lot of wins to show. And I was like, why not me? And thank God, 5 years from now, I did not quit. Yeah. Even when it was hard, even when I was like, I haven't seen a client in 6 months. What am I going to do? Yeah. I held on for that much longer, and I had people rally around me, women, men, all kinds of people who poured into me for so long. And I'm telling you, literally within like 2 months, things just skyrocketed.
What's been your biggest win to date?
Oh gosh. So I just won a few searches with a really big organization, multi-billion-dollar hospital system. I'd kind of been pursuing them for a while, but had finally got my tentacles in there a little bit. And it has been almost a $1 million deal in that one client. Wow. So, I have reached a place where I've, expanded my business and continue to expand. Last year was my best year, and this year will probably be bigger than that. So I'm just grateful, and that's the biggest win, I would say.
That is amazing. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
That is a testament to what happens when you just keep going. Yeah. Absolutely love that. Thank you so much for sharing your audacious story with us.
Thank you.
I feel like folks will leave knowing that the through line to your story and the woman before you story and the woman before you story is we don't always have all the tools, all the resources, all the community, all the contacts, all the money. But what we do have is wherewithal. Yeah. We have stamina. We have grit. We have a vision. Right. We have the determination to not stop. And I think that's exactly what you shared with us.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.